I interviewed Megan Smithers, age 25. She's from Framingham, Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. She went to the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. She attended Eisenberg School of Management and received a degree in hospitality and tourism management. She did not go to graduate school, and she believes that individuals going to hospitality and sports management positions can get more out of the personal or real-life experiences, such as internships, and she focused a lot of her time on on-the-job knowledge. She thinks that going to graduate school is completely up to the individual. She doesn't see anything wrong with it right away, just that way you can still be in the same school mindset. Good work ethic can get you just as far as receiving a master's degree. She interned at Accor Hotels in Australia as a human resources intern, Oysters Harbors Club, F&B intern and management intern, and the Boston Celtics fan relations intern. She studied abroad in Sydney, Australia. Her study abroad was a little different than most because she was required to get an internship while she was abroad. So she split her time between school and work. In doing so, she was able to realize that she didn't want to work in hotels. The experience was great, but it wasn't a fit for her. She would absolutely recommend studying abroad to students because it was one of the best experiences of her life. And she also believes that if you're given the opportunity to study abroad, you should definitely take it. It's very important to be taken out of your comfort zone and taken away from your norm. It is really important to experience. There is nothing like getting off a 23-hour plane ride in a completely new country and realizing that you do not know anybody. Talk about a stressful situation. Looking back, she wouldn't take it back for anything. Her first job out of college was a leasing consultant at an apartment complex in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was nowhere near the kind of job she saw for herself getting right out of college, but she had her mindset on moving to Charlotte, and this job gave her the opportunity to move from Massachusetts without being jobless. She learned a lot at this job, but one thing she did take away was that money cannot make you happy. I left after only a year, and while I had been promoted for my hard work and was making a lot more money than I would have ever made in minor league baseball, I was extremely unhappy. Sometimes you have to make the hard decision to take a pay cut and a title cut in order to find a good fit for you. Currently, her role at the Charlotte Knights is their business and community relations coordinator. She started her career at the Knights as just being their front desk receptionist and was promoted to her current role after a year and a half of being with the organization. Her current job responsibilities include assisting the business manager with day-to-day financials, AP processing, accounts receivables, etc., coordinate with all donation requests that come through the Charlotte Knights, assist with community outreach programs and initiatives, attend all player staff community service days, manage the account for the Charlotte Knights charities. She's currently on the board, help to plan large fundraising events for the Charlotte Knights charities, including the Charlotte Knights Golf Classic and Knights Uptown Rundown 5K. One thing to know about MILB is that there's nothing we do that isn't your job. If the team needs help, she'll jump in. If the ticket sales staff needs help making calls or selling tickets, they all pitch in. And the most glorified of jobs, we put the tarp down before and after any game that it rains. So while your job description may not only state a few bullet points, always be willing to jump in and help a department in need. A normal schedule for Miss Smithers doesn't really exist. Unfortunately, there is no normal day schedule. In the off-season, they work from 9 to 5:30 with a 1-hour lunch break. Her day will usually consist of a few meetings with nonprofits in the area that want to learn about how they can partner with the Knights, internal meetings with other departments, and/or charity board meetings. There are days that she spends the entire day off-site with players and/or staff volunteering at the hospital or at other nonprofits, and there are just days that we spend the entire day at the office just answering emails, tackling the to-do list, or processing payroll and other financial department needs. During the season, we are a lot busier and required to be here from 9 a.m. to whenever the game ends that day. They usually go surprisingly fast. This is because preparing for the night ahead and the promotional and community aspects of the night keeps you busy. They work a good number of holidays, lots of weekends, and during the season, many nights in a row. You definitely have to love what you do to work in this field, and having a good team also helps. She was brought to the Charlotte Knights because she was desperate to work in sports, so when she saw a posting for a front desk receptionist, she figured it was a good way to get her foot in the door. Ironically, she had applied to the same position a year before, but did not get the job. Turns out, second time is the charm. When asked about the saying, "It's not what you know, but who you know," she said that it's important in any field. She says that relationships are key in the field because whether or not the relationship helps you secure a big sponsorship sale or bring your season ticket holders back year after year or have just a good company morale, relationships and knowing your clients are key. Working in baseball, you get to know a lot of influential people in the industry and that they can help you get to where you want to be one day. She did not know anybody in the Knights organization when she came for her first interview, so that saying did not get her her initial job, but she guarantees that the relationship she's made along the way and the people she's met in the industry will be a factor in landing her next job. When she started in the industry 3 years ago, she was making $24,000. Over the years, she has received raises and now she has an approximate salary of $30,000. In her career, she's most thankful for the people that have been her mentors over the year and or the people who have given her a shot despite her work experience. People always notice hard work, so always work hard no matter how much you hate it. In the next 5 to 10 years, she hopes to have even more experience under her belt so she can move up to the Director of Community Relations or take her career to a different team or organization. She would love to stay in Charlotte, but there are so many teams out there that have the potential to teach her something that Charlotte can't, so she would never say no to another opportunity. And finally, she would give the advice to a freshman in college to take advantage of any opportunity that presents itself to you. Experience, both professional and personal, are key in making it in the real world, and she is forever grateful for the opportunity she was given in her internships. For my manager interview, I interviewed Megan Smithers. She is the Business and Community Relations Coordinator for the Charlotte Knights, which is a minor league baseball team that's based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. It's the area that I'm from, so I thought that'd be nice because whenever I'm home, I could always try to connect with them or even intern with them, like over the summers or anything, and then just having that connection is nice. And I'm definitely interested in working in baseball and definitely working with the community, so I thought she'd be perfect. Interviewing her, I learned a lot because she majored in hospitality and tourism, and so she started out working in hotels and that kind of style, and she learned that she didn't like it, and so she learned a lot from that, and so she ended up realizing she really wanted to work in sport, and so that's why I feel like I learned a lot because she helped me kind of see how you can actually go through career changes and how you can end up where you want to be. And even though I didn't interview her face to face, I definitely tried to give a big impression over email, just because it was over email, so we didn't get that face to face encounter. But I definitely tried to stick out, and I think I was successful in doing so. I was really gracious that she spent her time answering my questions, and she sent me pictures along with it, and I was really thankful for that. And then I'm going to send her thank you note soon, so I hope that'll kind of really stick out, which is, I guess, a really good point of doing it. I also thanked Miss Smithers for giving me a good look into the sport industry. As a freshman in college, I haven't really had much experience, and so I really thanked her for kind of giving me a look into the industry because I thought that it was extremely helpful. So I definitely do think I learned a lot from the interview. And I'm glad that we had to do it.